Hello, I'm Evocable Object 4. And I know I was going to do Outline, but I kind of want to do Dave. To be honest. Kind of want to do Dave's. English, you please. I think I'll always remember that day. Even if I had lived through more perilous situations, this one held a special place in my heart. I remember everything so vividly because it was a human experience, an unconventional one at that, just like war, actually. Maybe it left a mark on me precisely because it reminded me of war, of the pain, of the hopelessness, and also because it made me feel useful again. I thought I could help people, I could be a functional human being again. But that may have been foolish of me. One can never return from hell, after all, never. Even so, I remember that day as a moment of hope. I tried to cling to that, convincing myself it was my last chance. Was it all in vain? I. I had an appointment with my doctor afternoon that day. I knew it would be unpleasant. He told me the same thing as usual, that I had to make an effort for my treatment to work. I couldn't care less. I couldn't believe in its effectiveness. I truly thought I was a lost cause. At that time, his words were painful, and I couldn't escape them. I took a stroll in order to occupy my mind, and somehow I ended up on the shopping center. At the shopping center. Yeah. There were people everywhere, talking, walking, kissing, laughing. The crowd was lively, too lively for me. I had barely taken a few steps, and I already felt dizzy. I felt tired, so tired. Hearing the voices of these people, living their daily life happily, without a doubt, was breaking my heart even further. I didn't belong there, among the normal, among the humans. I didn't fit in this picture of joyful couples and families. But I couldn't stop hearing the voices, laughing louder and louder. I couldn't understand a thing. I was already fighting to escape those words. I was there, walking slowly and trying to ignore my terrible headache, when a deafening sound broke through my thoughts. I heard an explosion, and the walls began to shake as the windows blew up into tiny pieces. There were screams, people panicking, running in every direction, rushing towards the exit. I could clearly see the fear in their eyes, their failure to grasp what was going on. The ceiling was crumbling, increasing the panic. At that moment, they were all wild animals, and soon enough, they became aggressive. I was tired, so very tired, and my head ached so badly that I was too slow to react. I was knocked over, trampled by the hysterical crowd, my field of vision blurred. The last thing I heard, before getting hit by a collapsing rock, was yet another explosion. Then, everything went black. After I snapped out of it, all I could see was pitch black. There was a strong smell, dust particles. I could feel a presence next to me. I wasn't alone. Ah, you're finally awake. As I opened my eyes wide, I saw a distinct silhouette in the darkness. Given the tone of voice, this person seemed to be an old lady. I was afraid your injury would be more serious. Thank goodness you're okay. Where are we? I wish I could tell you, young lady. I think we've fallen from the ground floor. We must be on the lower ground floor. How did we manage to fall exactly? Oh, it's a long story. You were hit by a stone. Do you remember? Yes, I do. What happened after? I saw you pass out and I couldn't leave you there in that pitiful state. Not when there were people walking over your unconscious body. I tried to slap you awake, and you did open your eyes a bit, but I could clearly see that you were only half conscious. So I pulled you back up and leaned you against my shoulder to help you walk. Since we were as slow as snails, it was near impossible to get away when the ground collapsed beneath us. Do you feel a bit better now? That rock must have stunned you. Wait, you pulled me back up to save me from staring death in the face? I don't know what to say. I mean, you didn't have to. You could have escaped on your own. You don't owe me anything. Why did you bother saving me when you were in danger too? That, young lady, is my duty. I want to help as many people as I can. Please, don't thank me. I do that... I don't do that for a pat on the back. Just get better, that's all I can ask. If that's all you ask for, I can't decline. But everything seems okay. I just feel a bit numb. That's a relief. Well, we're lucky that none of us got any major injuries during that fall. Now, it'd be better if we could get out of here. I don't know about you, but I don't particularly like dark rooms, and this place isn't welcoming either. Since it's pitch black, we have to be cautious and not do anything reckless. Let's see. After feeling around in the darkness carefully, I came to a conclusion. Madam, I think I've figured out the situation. We're actually between two floors. That's why it's so dark. The bad news is, I don't know how long this little platform will hold. I think it's safe to assume it's not the most stable piece of ground. Just as I finished talking, a grinding noise confirmed my theory. I felt the platform shake a bit. It might fall down at any minute. It smells like trouble. What do we do now? Any ideas? I thought deeply while looking around. There was nothing to the right or left, only a fragile pile of intertwined junk and pieces of what previously used to be the ground. It appeared that they were the only things keeping the platform from falling. It was impossible to climb onto a broken pillar because of the smooth marble, and there was no sign of light above it anyway. It would have been too dangerous to jump blindly. I decided to look down as well, just to be sure, and knelt. Now that I was used to the darkness, I could see light right under the platform, the lower ground floor, in all likelihood. I pointed it out to the old lady. I think the lower ground floor is just here. We could jump and try to find the exit from there. We're not that high up. I don't think we'd get hurt. What if the platform falls on us? We'll just have to be quick. If you think it's safer than staying here, I'll do as you say. Feeling that the unsteady platform was slowly inclining and creaking more and more, I sat down and went first, hoping that the landing wouldn't be too violent. Surprisingly, a bunch of rubble softened my fall and I landed perfectly. There was a corridor and some people looking at me with surprise. A mother and her child. As encouraging as seeing their faces was, I had to focus on my companion first. Madam, you can go ahead. It's safe, and there are other people down here. Roger! Here I come. Catch me. The old woman jumped as well. Mission accomplished. Maybe we can leave now. A woman in her 30s approached us with her child, who was hiding behind her, and told us with a calm voice, I'm afraid I'll have to let you down because there's no way out of here. We're trapped as well. Are you sure? As I was about to ask the stranger for more information, I heard a voice calling for help nearby. Everybody looked in the same direction. There was a door leading to the bathroom at the end of the hallway. Without a second thought, I rushed in, followed by the woman I just met. Let us go forth. But yeah, I'm gonna do Dave instead. I want to do that. Because I'm curious what his story is. When we entered the bathroom, we immediately noticed a young man lying on the floor. He looked like a teenager and seemed embarrassed. I understood why. There was a wheelchair next to him, stuck under a rock. He must have been crawling in order to retrieve it. How troublesome. Don't worry, we'll put it back in place. Thanks. It's not working as well as before, but it's better than nothing. Not having anything else to do in the damaged bathroom, we decided to go back to the hallway. Nice to meet you all. The more the merrier, I say. We should be happy about the fact that we're still alive right now. Maybe it's a good time for introductions. Well, at that exact moment, there was a strange sound. The sound of scratching and coughing. We all turned to see what it was, and suddenly a human hand emerged from a pile of debris. We all cringed simultaneously. My heart beat harder. Could it be? The hand cleared out the stones as it made its way out. A man got out of the ruins and dusted himself off. We were all made speechless by his appearance. Phew! Close call. Hello there. May I know where this is? And may we know what you're doing out here? I was unconscious under a pile of junk. I just woke up after hearing your voices, but I couldn't tell where I was. I saw a light and here I am. I guess now is a good time for introductions. Unless there's another one hidden elsewhere, but I doubt it. I'm Adeline, retired, 73 years old and still kicking. I was about to go shopping when this thing occurred. Everyone was screaming and jostling around, and I saw this young lady on the floor getting walked over by those beasts. I gave her a hand. As we were slowly escaping, the ground shifted right under our feet, and here we are. Agath, retired army officer, 28. I was passing through the shopping center for a little walk, and you already know the rest. Gabriel, 19, student. I was idling around and went to one of the only wheelchair-accessible bathrooms. I heard a commotion outside, but I had to take my time getting back out. Then a part of the wall collapsed near me as I was getting out, and the impact ejected me out of my wheelchair. I passed out and you helped me get back on track, just after I woke up. I'm Alicia, 32, and I have too many jobs right now to count. Let's say cashier and cleaner for now. My son Hasten right here slipped away from me while I was trying to get out of the shopping center. I had to go looking for him right in the middle of the commotion. I found him here. I guess it was the quietest place at the moment, hence why he chose to take shelter. He hates crowds and noise. Anyway, as soon as I reached him, the walls right here collapsed, and the way out was closed off. It took some time to calm down, and that's when you came in. Oh. As for me, I'm Dave, 47 years old. I'm the director of a departmental team of the local public service corporation. We work for the common good. Our office is located on this floor, and I was actually sleeping in mine when the alarm rang out. It's a bit embarrassing, but I assure you it's not because I was partying the night before or anything like that. I'm just curious. I'm just currently really busy with new files coming out of nowhere. I haven't slept much lately, and I couldn't help but fall asleep on my desk. I got trapped in the office since nobody came to see me. He must have thought I already got out. To be honest, I didn't fully understand. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to click it twice. I take it that none of our cell phones work. The teenager, the woman, and the salaryman all sighed in unison. No signal. We're underground after all, and if the building has really fallen down on itself, it's no surprise. Does anyone know what actually happened? Was that an earthquake? A strange earthquake, then. I didn't feel the ground move under my wheels at all. I'd say it was a terrorist attack. A terrorist attack? Yes, I'm pretty sure of it. A small group recently threatened this exact shopping center, saying they wanted to lash out at a symbol of capitalism in our country. Considering that this center is a big economic landmark for the city, it wouldn't be surprising. You seem knowledgeable about these things. Well, I was in the army after all. I had to handle many difficult situations during my missions. I was frequently in contact with other units. So, what's your opinion on our situation right now? Do you think we have a chance of escaping? Well, I examined the place a bit earlier, so here are my thoughts. Firstly, it's a miracle that all of us have reached a place as large as this one. Usually, people trapped underground by something like an earthquake are stuck in a much narrower tunnel. So they can't even move or stand up. Plus, they usually get low light and no means of taking care of themselves. Here we have fully functional toilets and some of the lights are still working. Not sure that they'll last long, though. My big question is resource. The taps aren't working. Does anyone have something to eat or drink? I do. I have a full bottle of water in my purse. I haven't opened it yet. I can definitely share it. I think we would share it regardless of whether you had drinking from it or not. But that's a miracle. I have only one request. Go ahead. I also have a smaller bottle of juice. I'll share the water, but I'll keep the other one for my son, if you don't mind. He doesn't like water. How can someone not like water? It's tasteless. It is possible to not like water. In fact, you can not like water for that very reason. Shh. Everyone has their quirks. Let him do as he wants. No problem. I understand that the kid needs more attention than us. Thank you. He really needs it. I don't want him to be bad-tempered. It's not a good time for that. So it's not much, but we have one of the essentials. We can't live more than 2 or 3 days without water, whereas on average, humans can survive around a month without eating, if he doesn't tax his reserves. So, we have less than 2 or 3 days after finishing the bottle before dying of dehydration. Yay! I have another concern. If the taps aren't working, there must be a hole in the water mains inlet, which means a leak. In the situation of a terrorist bomb, it could be due to the damaging of an electric circuit that leads to another explosion. What annoys me is that we don't exactly know where this leak is. We could get flooded at any moment. Golly, I'm kind of glad that this isn't an RPG Maker horror game like The Witch's House, because that information, in other words, would exactly come into play, and that would really stink to have to deal with that. But luckily, We don't have to deal with that. So that's awesome. If an electric cable has been damaged, that would electrocute us as well. By staying, we might be signing our own death warrant. But we have no choice, so yeah. But we have no way of knowing that, so I have no clue about our survival chances. The future looks quite grim for us. But I don't want to die here. Dave looked pale all of a sudden. He looked terrified and was shaking like a leaf. He rushed to the sealed exit and pounded on the debris. I knew he was going to scream. It's useless, you know. You'll only exhaust yourself. The rescue team won't hear you from above since we're underground. I'm sure they'll come with sensors anyway, so they'll know where we are. For now, let's save our energy, okay? We'll scream only when we hear their voices calling out to us. Do you think we can escape on our own? Well, I don't know if it's humanly possible to clear out the collapse zone, and I can definitely say we can't climb out either. So no, let's say we can't do much. Let's wait for the rescue team. Who knows, they might already be on their way. I just think it'll be safer to set up as far as possible from the ruins. We don't want them falling on our heads. Anyway, let's cooperate. We don't want to get out. If we want to get out of here alive, our best chance is to help one another and stick together. I may not be in the army anymore, but I promise that I'll put your protection as my top priority. As I finished talking, I saw all of them pull a face. I know they were a bit demotivated, but the truth is always better than a pretty lie. Even so, I had to reassure them a little. I'm sure the rescue team will be here soon. We only have to wait. The most important thing right now is to maintain harmony inside our group. We can't let fear or sadness get the better of us. Let's try to pass the time as pleasantly as we can. Everyone nodded silently. I thought that they were agreeing, but didn't necessarily know how to strike up a conversation. I had to set an example. Yeah, I'm gonna do Dave instead of Aline. Aline? I'm not the greatest at pronouncing names. I just feel like I want to figure out what in the world his plot line goes. So let's see. That's Dave while he was sleeping. How'd you manage to nod off right in the middle of the storm, Dave? You must have been deeply asleep. I did come to my senses after a while. It's just that I was distracted. What does that mean? Distracted? Preoccupied by personal issues. That's why I needed some rest. And I didn't choose the right time for that. No, you didn't. But really, what a shock. Who would have thought there would be a terrorist attack today? Dave was definitely evading the issue. He looked distant, and his laugh sounded forced. How suspicious. See, this is why I want to figure out his route. Even so, it's scandalous to target civilians. We did nothing wrong. We were working like honest people. The government should allow a bigger budget when it comes to fighting against terrorism. By destroying other countries, you mean? War won't solve a thing. Well, we gotta show them we won't stand idly by. Or we could figure out a peaceful compromise. Have you played a video game named September 12th by any chance? I wonder if we have a game like that, or whatever. Uh, no, video games aren't my thing. Why do you ask? Well, it looks just like a shooting game in a Middle Eastern town. You see civilians walking on the streets, and there are terrorists among them, shown in black and white. As the player, it's up to you to shoot them or not. If you do, a missile will smash into the targeted area. But even if you manage to kill the terrorist, you will almost certainly kill innocent civilians too, and destroy the houses and environments. Each time you pull the trigger, there will be people coming by the dead bodies, crying, before turning into terrorists as well. So, the more you shoot, the more terrorists there are. You cannot win that way. It's the same in reality. If you choose to invade a country to erase the bad guys, you will murder innocents, and their families will hate you for that. Violence is never the solution. Never. You may think you have won the minute you shot that missile, but the truth is, you have failed miserably. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. I'm sure we can find a way to kill only the people at fault. Well, the people at fault, again, have families. She told you it was impossible. She's the army officer here, hon. Ah, but then we should punish delinquents more, because those are the ones who will become terrorists in the end. It'll bring peace back. Not necessarily, because they might be delinquents for a certain reason, and you never know, per se, if a delinquent by default is going to become a terrorist. As I said, it won't solve a thing. Repression is only aggravating the situation. Marginalized people turn to terrorism when they feel that they have no hope of getting a better life. Violence is a desperate measure. You use it when you feel that dialogue will lead you nowhere or is impossible. Yeah, watch Trigun. Trigun's a really good show. That talks all about that. Seriously, go watch it after you watch this video, I guess. The best way to prevent marginalized people from using violence would be to reduce disparities so that they aren't marginalized to begin with. You can get everything with hard work. I'm sure they only need to stop being so unwilling. Because it's fun to be marginalized? I don't think anyone would like to live in poverty, you know? That's not what I meant. But, you know, young people these days tend to slack off. But that's not always the case. High five, Dave. Sure, I guess the economic crisis doesn't exist. Economic crisis doesn't exist for some people. Everyone looked at each other, jaded. It was crystal clear that Dave was the kind of person who tended to be rather tactless. Also, I love how, like, in this one conversation, everyone's just wrote in, you know, I'm supposed to mainly be talking to Dave, but everyone's joining the conversation. There was a long pause in the conversation. Nobody wanted to talk anymore, and even Dave felt that there was something awkward in the air and avoided going on. The thick silence went on for a while, nobody knowing how to start the conversation again. After what felt like an eternity, a stomach growled. It was Hasten's. Come to think of it, I'm starting to get a bit hungry too. Now could be a good time to have a meal. A meal of air? Delicious, but not very nourishing. I have 6 biscuits on me. Let's share them along with the water. I'd advise you to cut them in half so that we can have another meal later. We don't have much to eat, so let's impose rationing. Or you could be like on Baka and Test and cut each biscuit in half and then cut that half in half and then cut that half in half and hope that it lasts you forever. If you haven't, you should check out Baka and Test too. That show's hilarious. Whatever. So went our humble meal. Each one of us got half a biscuit and a portion of water. Not enough to soothe my appetite, sadly. Well, since the rescue team still isn't here, I guess we'll be sleeping in this charming place. Too bad we don't have some kind of blanket. Sleeping directly on the floor is not suited for my age. If only I had known, I would have taken my coat. Would someone be kind enough to help me when the moment comes? I don't want to sleep in my wheelchair. It's not comfy enough for that. No problem. Sleeping on the floor? Here? It's disgraceful. I don't want to. None of us like the idea either, you know. Dave is such a crybaby. If you want, I can sing you a lullaby. Lullaby. Golly. No thanks. It wasn't time to sleep yet, so we had some free time to spend. We were joking about the fact that the rescue team would probably wake us up in the middle of the night. Deep down, I'm sure everyone wished that would be the case. So enough conversations died down. I couldn't stay on my own, doing nothing. I had to speak to someone to help me forget. Pass the time with Dave. Dave. I decided to go to Dave, who had been on his own up until now. Yeah, I never noticed that at this moment in time. Everyone else is talking to someone else, and Dave's just kind of chilling there by himself. I felt he would like some company. After all, he was part of the group, too. What are you doing? Not much. Say, are you all avoiding me? I would be doing a very poor job at it, considering I'm right next to you. Maybe not you, but I feel like the others are all avoiding me. Is it something I said? Well, I'll be honest, you were a bit rude earlier. I think they just feel awkward now because they don't know what you will say to them. I don't get what I did wrong. They're so touchy. It may sound weird to you, but everyone lives different experiences. If you don't try to be careful, you'll definitely strike a nerve without noticing it. Like, if you make a joke using dark humor to someone who just lost a beloved one, they most likely won't take it well. It's the same here. You're casually talking about painful things some of them may have lived. But I couldn't have known. Well, you just have to cross your fingers, and if you accidentally upset someone, you say exactly that. It's that you add sorry to that. Sorry, I didn't know. The problem here is that you shouldn't be so nonchalant in the first place. Their backgrounds aren't special cases you don't see often, but widely spread experiences. Good for you if you don't have the same problems, but don't act like your life is the norm here. Everyone is different, so you have to take their experiences into account. And when you don't know what they've been through, just shut up. It's the safest thing to do. If that's the case, I can't say anything anymore, can I? No, you can't say anymore. Go sit in the corner and think about your life. You can, once you've known them better, once you've understood them better. Understanding is the key here. It's so complicated. Why can't we talk normally? Why is being considerate of others considered not normal? But I am considerate. Not considerate enough. Listen, you asked me a question. I told you what I thought. Don't get mad at me for saying out loud what everyone else is probably thinking. It's nothing against you, I just don't understand. It's fine, nobody expects you to understand on your first attempt. Just show some good faith by being more considerate. I still don't get why they're all so touchy, but I'll try. That'd be a great start already. After this conversation, we decided it was time to rest. And speaking of resting, my menu's gone. Never mind, I guess we'll go through the sequence. After a while, everyone went their own separate ways to find the least uncomfortable corner of the room and lay down on the ground. I glanced at them regularly and saw many people turning around every which way in hopes of finding some sleep. I wasn't very optimistic. I knew that as soon as I closed my eyes, the screams would return. Sparks. I didn't want to see them again. I knew what would await. Another sleepless night. Another in a long series. At least I wouldn't stand out of the crowd tomorrow morning. Nobody would know. Almost despite myself, I felt weariness feeling me from the inside. I blinked, slower and slower. On the other side, there was darkness and fire. I saw the sand again, those dunes. I felt the blazing sun, the heavy air, the smell of petrification. My mind was uncontrollably attracted to this place. I tried to resist, but it was useless. I had been cursed with memory. I was in the middle of the desert, lost, powerless, as the scene passed before my eyes once again. No! I awoke from my dream with a start. It was the middle of the night, yet the scenery hadn't changed one bit. It was almost reassuring. Okay, with that, and if I remember correctly, the main character about to go to the restroom, I'm going to save, and that'll be the end of this video. Save twice, because I love to make sure, and double check that everything's there. Awesome. I'll see you guys in the next video, and yeah, bye.